That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to reintroduce, my name and my partner's name. My name is Zevlov X.
This is Zevlov X, government name Daniel Dumoulin. I want you to look closely, because in just a few years, this man is going to become the rap game's first supervillain. In the early 90s, Dumoulin rose to prominence as a part of the hip-hop group known as KMD, or Causing Much Damage. The group consisted of Dumoulin, his brother DJ Subrock, and Onyx Birdstone Kid. Their first album, Mr. Hood, contained a blend of race politics and comedic influences that garnered them critical acclaim and some modest success. However, during the recording of their second album, Black Bastards, DJ Subrock tragically died in a car crash. A grieving Dumoulin decided to finish and release the album himself in honor of his brother, but weeks before its release, the record company pulled the album. This due to the backlash surrounding the album's cover art, which featured a Lynch Sambo character. KMD was effectively dropped from the label shortly after. Dumoulin, who had fallen into homelessness, decided to exile himself from the rap scene, plotting his vengeance against an industry that had taken nearly everything from him.
My servants began to forge what was to become the most dreaded costume on the face of the earth. The last thing to fit was the mask. Would it conform to my twisted features and comfort?
In 1997, Dumoulin donned a mask and began going under the name MF Doom, a tribute to the Marvel Comics character Dr. Doom, as well as Dumoulin's childhood nickname. The Doom character arose from Dumoulin's own frustration with the growing emphasis on celebrity and aesthetics of hip-hop rather than its substance. He wanted people to focus on what's being said, not who was saying it.
Yeah, the whole mask thing, really, it's a time in hip-hop where things, from my point of view, started going more to what things look like opposed to what things sound like. What I did was I said, all right, look, I'm gonna come with the angle of it don't matter what I look like, it don't matter what the artists look like, it's more what the artists sound like.
It was this artifice that allowed Dumoulin to fully immerse himself in the character and the music. He used the medium to its full advantage, allowing him to experiment and create the art he felt like creating. His beautiful and at times menacing production, which featured samples from old cartoons such as Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and Scooby-Doo, helped create this dark, menacing lore around the character. It also helped set the stage for Dumoulin's incredible mic skills. His deep, raspy voice throwing out some of the most ridiculous and verbose wordplay you've ever heard.
Dripping off the beat, kinda, dripping off the meat grinder, heat niner, pimping, stripping, soft, sweet minor. China was a neat signer, trouble with the script digits, double dip, bubble lip, subtlest midget, borderline schizo, sort of fine tits, though, porter wine.
Each project takes a different conceptual approach to the character in some way. Take the album Mad Villainy, for example, a collaboration album between himself and producer Madlib. The album feels like a crossover issue in a comic book. Two supervillains coming together, both bent on domination of the rap game. Or even take the album Food, where each song connects back to things like the feeling of only having one beer and Girl Scout cookies. These concepts in the hands of any other artist would be laughed out of the room, but in Doom's hands, it became two of the most beloved underground hip-hop records of the last 2 decades. Dumoulin further added to his mythos by incorporating different personas into the universe, such as Victor Vaughn and King Ghidra. Victor Vaughn is meant to be Doom as a young man, growing up in New York City. He looks up to Doom, but ultimately thinks he can do his job better. Meanwhile, King Ghidra is a 3-headed snake monster bent on world destruction. Yeah, seriously. These aren't just stage names either, they're fully formed characters that contribute more to the grander sonic universe that Dumoulin creates. A Victor Vaughn record doesn't sound like an MF Doom record, a King Ghidra album doesn't sound like a Victor Vaughn album, and so on. The characters even appear on each other's albums, furthering the distinction between them. For example, on the song Fancy Clown off the album Mad Villainy, Victor Vaughn talks about a girl he likes cheating on him with a man that turns out to be the MF Doom character.
I knew you was in around, playing all innocent, hoeing since the foundation. Don't make me have to pound this tin crown facing and risk being.
The concept of being a rap supervillain also extended beyond his music. Doom was notorious for sending imposters or Doombots to shows, performing in his place when show promoters didn't pay him enough.
MF Doom is the Andy Kaufman of hip-hop. Okay. Yeah. MF Doom is a supervillain. I said, why you sometimes don't come to the show? His answer to that question was, I don't leave any money on the table. But sometimes it's not enough money. So when it's not enough money, I send the imposter. I said, but listen, isn't that wrong? But his answer made perfect sense. He said, I'm the supervillain.
Yep. And
I'm not your friend.
He never said
you don't have to like me. I'm the villain.
Doomlay wasn't afraid to alienate or flat out piss off his audience, because at the end of the day, they're just characters. They're not meant to represent him or his real feelings. It was this commitment to the character, this commitment to quality rather than celebrity, that endeared Doom's audience to him. Because while he betrayed himself as a villain, Doom was an anti-hero to many, showing that you didn't need to conform to be successful.
I looked up to MF Doom in particular a lot because his come up was kind of strange, you know? He kind of was in the industry, and then he left the industry because of tragedy, and then he came back almost like on some revenge shit or something. I don't know. It's kind of like he's like the anti-hero to me.
He rhymes as weird as I feel. I don't know if that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I swear to God, when I saw that Mad Villain record, I bought it on vinyl. I didn't even have a record player. I bought it on vinyl just to stare at the album.
Alright. Good seeing y'all. Peace. Peace. Heard a lot about all y'all niggas.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Daniel Doomlay passed away on Halloween of last year, an almost serendipitous end for someone who considered themselves the supervillain. Despite MF Doom's massive underground following, Doomlay never truly received the recognition he deserved. While more than deserving, I almost feel as though he never needed it. The entire point of the MF Doom character, so you don't need the celebrity or the recognition to be revered. It was never about who was behind the mask, but what it represented. Even with Doomlay gone, the MF Doom, Victor Vaughn, and King Ghidorah characters he leaves behind will live on forever. I've loved MF Doom since I was 16 years old, and I keep falling in love with him every single time I play one of his songs. If you haven't, please check out his music. I promise you, it is more than worth your time.
And that's that.